Welcome to another edition of the Lowdown on Up High. Today we're going to look at an extremely important issue, and that is the evacuation of aircraft that are on fire or there's some sort of emergency. It's a really big issue.
Why is taking carry-on baggage during an emergency aircraft evacuation such a big concern?
It's a huge concern. And one of the fundamentals of it is it delays you getting off the aircraft and it delays other passengers getting off the aircraft. And that can have catastrophic consequences, not only for you, but your fellow passengers as well.
Are there examples of this happening in real life emergencies?
Yes, there certainly are. We had an Emirates 777 accident in Dubai a number of years ago. We had scenes of passengers using their video cameras or their iPhones to take pictures of the evacuation, for instance. You had people struggling with bags. It was an absolute catastrophe. Miraculously, no passengers were lost in that evacuation, but it took over 7 minutes. And more recently, I think it was in 2022, there was a Russian aircraft at Moscow airport, a Sukhoi Air 100 Superjet, and that caught fire due to a lightning strike and then a crash landing. And 41 people lost their lives, and those losses were attributed to people insisting on carrying their bags off the aircraft.
But don't people instinctively want to grab their belongings, passports, phones, wallets?
Yes, they do. I mean, people they don't want to be separated from their stuff. ID is very important. Passports are very important. A wallet's very important. I absolutely agree with that. But the reality is they're not as important as your life. And if it was just those things that they had physically on them and then went off with those, that wouldn't be an issue. It's all the extra carry-on baggage they've got. And some people have got one or two bags that they've got onto the aircraft. And this is what's clogging everything up.
How do airlines try to prevent this behaviour?
Well, they have the announcements at the beginning of the flight telling people about what they should be doing in the case of emergency. But as we all know, most people don't listen to those announcements. And, the announcements covered opening doors, opening exits, all these sorts of things. Most people don't listen to it. And so, when we do have an emergency, they simply panic, instinctively go and grab their stuff and try and get off. And that's where the chaos starts.
Is there a regulation against it?
Yes, regulators like the International Civil Aviation Organization, the FAA in America, and EASA in Europe, they regulate that to certify an aeroplane, the manufacturer, Boeing or Airbus or Embraer or Bombardier, whoever it happens to be, has to demonstrate that all passengers can exit the aeroplane with only half the exits open in 90 seconds. Now, we're showing you right now an Airbus demonstration for the A380. And you can see, first of all, the passengers have got no baggage whatsoever. They're also Airbus employees, as in this particular case, it's the A380. They could be Boeing employees if it was a Boeing aeroplane, etc. And they all know exactly what they have to do. They have to, when the notification comes, they've got to get off in double quick time. And they do it. They do it under 90 seconds. But that is so far from reality, it's a joke. You're talking 90 seconds. Now you're talking a real life situation. You're talking 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes to get off an aeroplane.
Has any technology been introduced to stop people from accessing overhead bins?
Yes, look, it's been touted that we could have a locking mechanism on the overhead bins. So when an aircraft is about to descend for landing or prior to takeoff, the bins are locked by the flight attendants, and they're only unlocked after the aircraft arrives at the gate or when the aircraft gets to cruising altitude, depending on whether it's a takeoff or a landing. But to actually retrofit that to aircraft, completely impractical. It might come in on new designed aircraft, but for the time being, there really is no solution to this problem.
Is there a psychological reason why people don't obey?
Yes, there is. People naturally want to be connected with the things they treasure the most. It's just natural instinct. And unfortunately, they just don't think. They panic, grab their stuff, get off. And their stuff is way too much.
What message should passengers take away from all this?
They really need to take away the fact that they've just got to get off that aircraft quickly. Now, if they're really attached to their stuff, put your passport in your wallet or whatever, your ID, into your pockets. Put it into your pocket. So if you have to get off the aeroplane in a hell of a rush, you've got your stuff, the most important stuff, with you. You don't have to go looking for it. You've got it with you. That's what I do. I wear a coat. I got an inside coat pocket. I put my passport in. I put my wallet in. I'm off. I'm fine. No issue.
Is this behaviour more common in some regions or demographics?
Yes, it is, although panic is universal. However, we saw in 2024 in January, we saw an incident with a Japan Airlines A350, which landed on top of a Japan Defence Force aircraft that was going to take off. And there was a mess up with air traffic control. It was nothing to do with Japan Airlines, but the aircraft was severely damaged as it landed. It caught fire. It came to a halt, but everybody got off because Japanese do what they're told. They are really a very obedient society. As anybody who's been to Japan knows, they'll do exactly what they're told. And the hostesses were screaming out, get off, get off, get off, and everybody streamed off. And there was one Australian couple, in fact, it was a family, and it was interesting because the mother had their passports and their valuables in a waist type wallet arrangement. And so they all knew that mum's got all the stuff and they just whizzed off the aircraft and in double quick time. And everybody got off an aeroplane that was engulfed in flames, which was absolutely amazing. So yes, there are some very big differences when it comes to demographics.
So, GT, what do you do and what is your advice?
Well, what I do, knowing all the circumstances around this and what I've seen, I always book an exit row. I do it because I'm tall anyway, but I always book an exit row. I always book the right in the window seat because I like to look out the window and take photographs. So I will be the first person off. And in my mind, as soon as I get on board, I go through the briefing. I understand exactly how this particular exit works because they change from one airline to one aircraft type to another, and I'm ready to go. And it's not about necessarily me, it's about, okay, I can get out and then I can help people to get off and scream at them and yell at them because you've got to be assertive. You've got to say, leave your bags behind, leave your bags behind, leave your bags behind. And one of the other dynamics to this is if people are grabbing their bags, some of these exits aren't big enough or easy enough to get bags out of, like the overwing exits. So if you've got your bag, what are you going to do with it? Dump it down where to block other people getting off the aircraft as well? There's a lot of dynamics to this. So for me, I book an exit row. I can get off the airplane really quickly, help other people, and I won't be blocked. So that's what I do. So we've covered exits. We've covered escaping from an aircraft. It's critically important to follow the instructions of the flight attendants. They're there to save your life. Don't take your bags off the aircraft. So, viewers, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you are not subscribing, please subscribe to the Lowdown on Up High. If you've got some ideas, some criticism, something you want us to look into, then please let us know and we'll drill into it and have a good look for you. And please do tune in to the next episode of the Lowdown on up high. I'm Jeffrey Thomas.